kasi ngayon pong araw na ito, ang kasama natin ay isang kapwa natin Filipina and also my schoolmate from Immaculate Conception Academy of Manila. She was the literary editor of Latin Cell back in the day. At isa sa mga pinakamatatalino ito sa school namin dati. Oo, magaling magsulat pero ewan ko ba napunta sa science. Si Mrs. Leia Goco Ericson. Hi, Leia!
Hello, good morning from Florida.
Yeah. Nako pinilit ko lang ito na makipagkwentuhan sa atin. Pero kasi, alam niyo, ang dami niya mga experiences dito sa Amerika. Kasi, ilang years ka na ba nung na nandito sa Amerika?
But this is my 30th year.
Wow, 30 years na. So, kasi nursing graduate si Leia. Naisip mo ba talaga na dito ka magtatrabaho nung pagkatapos mo matapos ng nursing?
Well, yung meron akong goal noon na gusto kong makapunta dito because yung mga auntie ko, they're nurses too. Although nasa Chicago area sila and they made a good life here and raised their family here. So, it was a dream. It was a dream. Although hindi nursing yung una kong tinake, nasa accounting school ako noon.
Bigla ka nalipat sa nursing.
And my mom wanted me to take up nursing and I wasn't sure at first if I was gonna make it. But I went into nursing school and did well, surprisingly.
Yung pala yung heart mo nandun pala.
I have a heart for people, for taking care of people. And it's just that, as you get older, it gets harder on the body. But I do enjoy taking care of people.
Talaga? So, hindi katulad ng iba na pinilit ng mga magulang nila na mag-nursing tapos eventually nagsisisi na sila dahil hindi pala nila calling talaga yon. Parang dahil lang sa mga magulang nila. Pero with you, parang in-inspire ka lang ng parents mo. Tapos, you discovered na yun pala yung talagang calling mo. Maging nurse.
I think God led me to this profession. And by nature, I like just, being quiet, being alone and not socializing with people, but this kind of pushes me to do that. And I do love taking care of people.
Pero anong difference ng mga nurses sa Pilipinas at saka sa Amerika? Ano rin difference ng mga pasyente sa Pilipinas at saka sa Amerika?
Difference? There's not really any difference. You see patients at their most vulnerable.
So pare-pareho lang sila na pag may sakit, nagiging at the mercy ng nag-aalaga sa kanila.
It's like like I said, they're at their most vulnerable and you can't take things personally when they're when they have all these emotions and
minsan masungit din. Talaga.
But
so nasisigawan ka rin. Talaga. Paano pag sinisigawan ka, hindi ka naman nabubuwisit?
You have to understand where they're coming from. What they're going through. And it takes a lot of sensitivity to do that.
Oo. So pareho lang pala sa pasyente sa Pilipinas at saka sa Amerika, kung ano yung nararamdaman nila, pareho rin, pati yung pakikitungo nila sa mga nurses nila. Pero mabigat ba ang gawain bilang nurse dito sa USA kaysa sa Philippines?
I think the technology helps.
Okay. Okay.
They have a lot of stuff here that, and they have a lot of laws on how to protect the workers. I'm not so sure. I didn't really work that long in the Philippines, so I'm sure it's a little harder on the body. And the tech here is much faster too. So.
Oo. Ayun, kasi nga we lack the technology. Dito nga lang sa exhibit nila, mga kaibigan may nakita ako na chair na humihiga para yung pasyente maisislip on nila doon sa chair ng easily, no? Tapos tsaka kusang umaakyat, nagra-rise. Hindi mo na kailangan buhatin pa yung pasyente. Unlike in the Philippines, talagang mano-mano bubuhati mo. Pero dito kapag may aksidente, hihiga ng kusa yung chair na para siyang stretcher. tapos tsaka siya aakyat para maiupo yung pasyente. So talagang malaki yung difference when it comes to that technology. Pero yun sa oras ng pagtatrabaho, kayo ba ay required to put in so many hours before you can complete a duty?
Well, it depends on what they hired you for. Like if you're PRN, which is, as needed, you can kind of set your hours. They do have requirements. Sometimes it just depends on the hospital. Like if they say you have to work so many holidays, so many weekends, and they do pay you extra for that. Like differentials is what
yun ang maganda, di ba? May overtime pay.
The one thing that's good about us Filipino nurses is we're very resourceful. So if there's, like, for example, if we're lacking in something, we find a ways around it. And I think you develop that because, like you don't have that much resources.
So, nagiging resourceful ka. Kasi dun sa Pilipinas, talagang lahat ginagamit natin, di ba? Hindi lang utak natin, pati katawan natin, para isipin kung ano yung pwedeng pamalit doon sa mga wala, di ba? Pero, yung naman, kasi nabanggit mo nga na meron naman nag-a-assist sa inyong technology rito. So, mas easier talaga bilang mga nurses. Pero, meron bang mga racial discrimination na nangyayari? Like, because you are an Asian, baka hindi ka preferred ng mga patients, o kaya mga doktor ba, inaaway ka ba?
Well, personally, I haven't really experienced that. Although sometimes, like some patients will look at you and say, I think they're thinking, you look young, do you have that much
Parang wala siyang tiwala.
experience? Do you have
Walang
that much
tiwala.
experience and knowledge? And if you look like younger than your age, they'll go, how many years have you been working here? And it's like, ano ba talagang tinatanong ito sa akin? Or, they look at you and they say, can this person communicate with me? They're surprised, like, did you graduate here?
So may
How
mga
long
tanong
have you
na
worked
ganon?
here?
May mga tanong na ganon? Hindi ka na-offend?
Hindi naman. I don't, like I said, I don't take things personally. And if I don't feel like it's a personal question, they are very curious. More so back then, I've been here 30 years, so.
Yeah. Si Leia po ay married for 20 years, right?
20 years.
Oo, sa isang napakagaling na presidente po ng isang asosasyon para sa mga medical emergency educators, medical emergency services educator. Ang kanyang husband ay ang presidente nga po ng MC ba? Na MC yung pangalan ng kanilang association, si Brian Ericson. Paano naman kayo nagkakilala ni Brian?
We used to work together.
Oh, so
we used to work together, but we didn't date when we were working. Because
bawal ba?
In there, he just has this thing about if you start dating with with your coworker, if you start dating your coworker and then something goes wrong, and most of the times it ends up badly and it affects your work situation. So we were friends, colleagues, and then we went our separate ways. He started working somewhere else. I started working somewhere else. And then a common friend invited us over for dinner.
Yeah.
And then so we met each other again. And then he asked me out.
Buti nakita kayo uli, ano?
So I had known him for a while before.
Yeah, parang friends kayo na nag-meet lang sa hallway. Pero wala pang spark nun?
Wala, although he's very, very charming and very nice. And, it's most of the times it's the personality that draws you more than, like passing attraction is just like fleeting. And sometimes it's like, when you like the person, you develop feelings. So
So
pero he's a good person.
Yeah, was there a time na naisip mong married ka sa career mo at hindi ka naghahanap ng magiging partner in life?
When I was younger, when I first came here, marriage was far from my mind. I was only 23.
Nung pumunta ka rito?
Mhm.
Wow. So, parang fresh from school?
Fresh from school, yeah, 2 years from the time I graduated.
Talaga.
So that was in 89. I came here in 91.
Okay. Paano yung proseso noon sa pagpunta dito sa Amerika?
Back then, you had to pass your boards, nursing boards, local, and then take the CGFNS. You have to pass the CGFNS and then apply for a job. Back then, there were agencies. And they kind of helped you process the papers. They have connections here, hospitals here in the US.
Sila ang maghahanap? Oo.
And then you around in 91, there were only pretty much 2 states available, like the New York, New Jersey area, and Texas. And we didn't really want to go. My friend and I didn't want to go to the East Coast.
Kasi malamig sobra.
Yeah.
Pero malamig din sa Texas, di ba?
And they said, you know, the New York City is like a faster pace.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, we wanted to start out slower. And I'm glad we did choose Texas. We love Texas. My friend hasn't left Texas either. We were looking for California jobs, but there weren't any California jobs back then. And like I said, I'm glad we ended up here.
Yeah, oo. And there, you met your husband, di ba? And you are living happily ever after ba?
Yeah.
Oo. Pero yung nga sabi mo, dati, ganun ang mga proseso. Alam mo ba kung anong process na ngayon?
Ngayon, I don't even think is CGFNS even in existence nowadays.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Pero mahirap bang pumasok ngayon o madali lang? Kasi
the need is still there's a there's a great need, especially after COVID. Yeah, they're paying a lot now for nurses, and a lot of nurses have even left their hospitals to travel because they're paying so much for travel nursing.
So when you say travel nursing, that means they go from state to state. Okay. So hindi lang sila nag-stick sa isang state lang, sa isang hospital lang. They can move.
Yeah, they get what's called contracts.
Okay.
So it's like, for example, like a 13-week contract.
13 weeks lang? Okay.
And they get paid handsomely for.
Talaga? Oo.
I thought, well, you know,
ikaw ba naisip mo ba?
We were talking about that. We were younger, we would probably do it, but you know, now we're over 50 now. So
I don't believe you. You look so young.
We're kind of settled now. You know, when you're settled and you're happy, it's like money is kind of secondary.
Comfortable naman ang buhay mo. So why punish yourself, diba? At saka wala na naman yata mga tinutulungan sa Pilipinas.
Wala. My parents passed away. Like my last parent passed away like 2 years ago. So yeah, I still have cousins. So we'll probably visit again a few years from now.
Pero you just mentioned COVID, ano? Ano ang experiences mo ngayon na nandito kayo sa gitna ng COVID? Although ikaw hindi ka naman full-time, di ba? Parang kung tatawagin ka lang, kung may duty ka lang. Tapos hindi iisa yung duty mo, di ba? Parang on the day itself, doon mo lang malalaman kung ano yung gagawin mo.
That was, I used to work in a 900-bed hospital. It's like several buildings. It was the Presbyterian system. I used to float. But I don't do that anymore. Since yung parents ko kasi when they got older and I was doing more travel to the Philippines to see them because they didn't want to move anywhere. I started slowing down with work so I could go back to the Philippines more often. And I started working as needed, PRN. And I got a job at a surgical center. It's a day surgery center. They don't have like overnight stay.
Okay.
So it was like a Monday to Friday job, no weekends, no holidays. It suited my lifestyle better that way. So
Pero mas mababa pa pay pag gano'n?
Yes, you don't get paid as much
Mm.
compared to when I used to work cardiac.
Oo.
But it was enough just to
Mm.
sustain. And when Mama passed away like 2 years ago,
Mm.
I had the opportunity to stay with her
Yeah.
I took care of her for like 4 months
Mhm.
before she passed away.
Mm.
And I didn't have to worry about, I have to get back to work.
Mm. Mm.
So, and it just so happened from 2019, it's been the years have been like
Crazy.
crazy
Yeah.
because after Mama passed away, my husband got into a little accident and he was in the hospital
Oh.
for a while.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then COVID happened
Oo.
after, the early 2020. COVID
Yeah.
happened. And I told myself, well, it's actually good that I was working where I was
Mhm. Mhm.
because our little surgery center had to shut down because they
Mm.
diverted all the resources to the big hospitals
Yeah.
for COVID, and they opened all these COVID units.
Oo.
And they gave us the freedom to, like, if you want to work at the hospital or whatever, but we were gonna close the surgery center down. That was like
Mm.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
I didn't really work for 6 weeks.
Pero tumatanggap ka ng sweldo?
No, because
Wala.
I was PRN.
Okay. Mm.
And they kind of guaranteed a certain number of hours
Mhm. Yeah.
for the full-time people.
Mm.
But Brian was busy. He was
Mm.
busier during COVID
Kahit na
doing the online
na-aksidente?
stuff.
Okay.
Well, he had recovered then the
Okay.
next year. He was
Kasi educator si Brian. So may
uh,
online school,
online. He
online
was busier.
schooling.
His
Oo.
phone was like ringing like all hours of the day, and
Mhm.
yeah. So
Mm.
that was
So,
the one whole year.
yeah. Oo, mahirap ba ang COVID dito sa Amerika?
From what I hear, yes.
Oo.
Those who are working directly.
Yes, oo.
Uh,
Pero ikaw, bumalik ka na uli sa work kahit
yeah,
na,
we're back up now.
oo,
Um,
open na uli yung surgery clinic nyo.
open
Oo.
yung surgery center. It's been slow
Mm.
because it's only outpatient.
So,
And
ang
I
mga
start,
inooperahan nyo dyan, yung mga cataract lang, gano'n?
doon sa surgery center ko, it's like orthopedic, outpatient
So mga
orthopedic,
na-aksidente na.
general surgery, yung mga gallbladder.
Okay. Mm.
And then I had some extra hours that I wasn't doing anything. Like
Mhm.
sometimes, when the census is low,
Mm.
they get the full-time people to work first.
Yeah.
So I started moonlighting for one of the eye doctors, and he built his own surgery center. It's only cataracts.
Mm.
So I do Monday and Tuesday at
Mm.
that surgery center.
Bakit nung nagsara yung nyo, surgery center, hindi ka binigyan ng sweldo? Kasi 'di ba sabi nila dito raw sa Amerika, kaya nga ang daming hindi nagtatrabaho na ngayon kasi tumatanggap daw sila sa government ng
Uh,
support while the person is not at work.
uh,
Oo. Bakit yung sa'yo parang totally wala kang natanggap?
because I only work as needed. It's my
Okay.
choice.
Kasi hindi ka regular, parang
Hindi ako
gano'n?
regular. And well, people who get assistance here, they only make a certain amount of money.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
depende rin sa sweldo mo.
oo,
Oo.
may ano yun ano ba tawag dito yung I can't think of the word.
Actually, hirap na nga si Lea mag-Tagalog kasi syempre sanay na sanay siya. Araw-araw ba naman ang kausap niya yung kanyang asawang Kano. Kaya hindi mo na tuloy maisip yung mga tamang
Hindi ko
mga...
maalala yung term. Anyway, yeah, meron silang mga requirements. Yun. So if you only make a certain amount of money, if you've been laid off, and I think you have to show that you can't find a job, that you're trying and you can't find a job. There was a time during COVID when everything was locked down, when the government sent checks. And if you make less than so much, then they cut you a check and they send it and it'll be in your account if you're a taxpayer.
Yeah. Okay. So, ganun pala dito. O, akala ko lahat, basta't nahinto sa pagtatrabaho,
No,
sinusuportahan ng government. So, pwede rin ang susuporta sa inyo yung company nyo? Parang ganon.
Pwede din. I mean, I know our hospital system, they were very good at taking care of the employees. Nag-ano sila, yung mga full-time nila, parang nag-promise sila na they'll be paid so much, so many hours, I think, at one time. But if they work over, then, you know, they get the pay for whatever hours they worked over.
Alam mo, ang sabi nung ilan dito sa Amerika na mga Pilipino na naging American citizen na, ang isa sa mga dahilan kaya hindi sila makauwi ng Pilipinas or makapag-stay na matagal sa Pilipinas ay dahil dun sa kanilang Medicare dito. At kaya gustong-gusto nila na maging citizen ay dahil doon sa Medicare. Ganun pa rin ba ang Medicare ngayon dito sa Amerika? Kasi diba nung dumating si President Obama, parang nagkaroon ng mga changes doon sa Medicare system ninyo. So how is it kapag kunyari nagkasakit ka rito sa Amerika?
Well, I'm not too familiar with, you know, Medicare or how, you know, requirements or whatever to get it. I do know they have a certain amount of responsibility. They feel a certain amount of responsibility here, like
so may copay
if
parang
you
ganon?
If you need emergency help, they will help you here.
Libre.
They'll take care of you. You
Oo.
may get the bill later, but they will take care of you. You know,
Okay.
they won't, like, if you go to a hospital or if you need help, they don't ask you, do you have cash?
Para sa Pilipinas,
Do you
di ba?
have
Kailangan may down
money?
payment.
They will take care of you if you need help. If you got into an accident somewhere, they'll take care of you, and it's the same standard.
Kahit, paano kung wala ka Medicare? Yung mga turista, tinutulungan din naman nila.
They'll still take care of you.
Oh, okay. Paano mo kaya babayaran yun?
You'll get the bill later, but you know, I don't know if they pay it.
At least magre-respond. Yun naman ang pinaka-importante. Yung 911 ba? Binabayaran ba yun?
Hindi.
Ay, hindi.
Well, I
libre.
mean, you call them if you need them, and they'll come and help you.
Pero sabi, pag kunyari false alarm, okay, hindi sumama yung pasyente, magbabayad ka raw.
I think there's a fine.
Oo, kasi nangyari yun dun sa father-in-law ko. Tinawag nila yung 911 kasi bumaksak. Akala nila na heart attack. Pero nung dumating si 911, medyo okay na siya. Ayaw niya sumama. Nagbayad daw sila ng $100.
Dapat sumama na siya.
Oo nga eh. Ewan ko ba kung bakit ayaw sumama. Kasi siguro may trauma na sa ospital. Para ayaw na niya bumalik talaga doon sa ospital ever eh. Kaya yun ayaw niya sumama. Pero yung kapag nagkasakit ka, isa kang citizen ng Amerika, pero doon nangyari sa Pilipinas yung pagkakasakit mo, babayaran pa rin ng Medicare nyo. Yung kung ano man yung nagasto sa Pilipinas.
Oh, I'm not familiar with how Medicare
Works,
does it here. You may have to ask Brian about that. He may know better.
Yeah, si Brian ang tanongin natin mamaya. Pero overall, how would you describe your life here in America?
Well, it's comfortable. It's comfortable and fulfilling. And I wish other people would, you know,
experience the same.
Yeah.
Laging pinag-uusapan namin dito ni Leia.
You know, you have that little certain guilt too, like. Because I grew up in Tondo, so I've been around people who have so, you know, much less.
Yeah.
So
actually,
it's like it's weird. It's like, you know, I've experienced like, you know, I enjoy some stuff that probably other regular people don't even enjoy here, because I get to go to like conventions and you know, they have like freebies and whatever.
You travel.
I travel, and it's like, you know, and I know how the poorest of the poor live too, so it's like a big gap. It's just, you know.
Yun na itatanong ko,
makes you think.
Bakit may mahihirap pa dito sa Amerika? Bakit may mga homeless pa dito? Parang ang dami naman ng projects ng government for them.
There's homeless everywhere.
Yeah, bakit
Like,
nga?
I think like
Kasi
any country.
yeah, sabagay kasi siguro baka yung iba tamad, 'di ba, tamad din, hindi
Uh,
nagtatrabaho or kasi nga pumunta lang sila rito mga refugees, 'di ba, na
mm,
walang siguradong pupuntahan dito, eh, ang mahal ng, buhay din dito 'no. Life here is expensive, ang mga bahay expensive din. So you
mhm.
really have to work very, very hard.
And
Mm,
I think if the opportunity is there, you have to go and grab it right
mm,
away
mm.
because it may not come around anymore.
Yeah,
Especially if you're young
mm,
and you still have the strength and
mm.
but other people I guess don't have resources or
Yeah,
skills or you know, there's
mhm.
a lot of factors.
I know, I know. O
But
pero sabi mo nga, napakalayo nung buhay mo dati sa Pilipinas, nung nag-aaral ka pa lang, kumpara dun sa buhay mo ngayon. Kaya sometimes yun iniisip mo nga yung sana ma-achieve din ng mga kapwa natin Pinoy yung mga narating mo na ngayon at ng iba pang successful na mga Pilipina o Pilipino
mhm.
dito sa Amerika. So, ano ang maipapayo mo doon sa mga kababayan natin na nangangarap din na makarating dito? Ano ba ang mga dapat nilang tandaan bago sila pumunta dito sa US to find jobs or to find husbands and wives? Kailangan ba humanap ng asawa dito para maging
No,
citizen?
I mean, I got married. I was in my early 30s. I didn't think I
Mm.
would get married.
Hindi mo inisip na magiging citizen ka dahil sa marriage?
No, I was already a
Citizen
citizen
ka na
before I got married.
nun. Okay,
That's why
okay.
that's why I say, we say, they can't say that I married my husband for citizenship because I was already a
Mhm.
citizen.
Mhm.
But if you're happy with yourself and you're comfortable, you don't really need, to be married to be
Mm.
fulfilled.
Mhm. And you don't
And
have to marry an American to be a citizen. Sabi nga ni Leia.
no, no, you don't. I put in for my green card.
Mm.
While we were on the working visa, put in for your green card. It takes about 5 years if you're not married to an American. 5 years from the
Aba.
time you get your green card before you can apply for citizenship, and that's what
Okay.
I did.
Mm.
And when I got my citizenship, we were actually, I think we just got engaged.
Mm.
Yeah, I got my citizenship before.
Oh, yes. Oo.
Uh-huh.
Oo. So, ang Amerika ba ay para sa lahat?
No.
Mhm.
It just depends on where you're happy
Mm.
and where you're comfortable. Like I said, my parents didn't want to move here
Mhm.
because they were happy in
In
the
the
Philippines.
Philippines, oo.
They came here for a visit, and I think they were here less than 3 months, and they had
Gusto
multiple
nang umuwi.
entry. They had 10-year multiple
Yeah.
entry. They didn't want to stay here. They were bored.
Oh, yeah.
They missed their friends. They
Mhm.
missed being able to go out, ride the jeepney, go to the places they
Yun
wanted
ang
to
nakakainis dito,
go.
Diyos me, ang mahal ng Uber.
You have to
Walang
look.
bus.
I had to learn to drive, and
Oo.
I said if they had public transportation where we were, I probably would have just rode the train or
Mm.
whatever. But you have to drive when you
Mm.
live where we live.
Mm.
You have to be able at least to drive yourself to work.
Mm.
And I was pushed to do that, but they were bored. They were just in the house.
Mm.
I tried to get my dad to like plant, and
Mm.
we gave him stuff, and then after he did that, he was like, what do I do
What else? What
next?
else?
So yeah, and then they said we want to go home, so we had to buy them the ticket. They went back home and they
Hindi
didn't
na
want to come
bumalik?
back. I kept renewing their visa, and ayaw nila magpa ano yung petition, kasi pag
Mm.
magpipetition they have to stay here 6
Yeah.
months out of the year,
Aha.
or mapapalso yung
Petition, ano
petition
nila.
nila. So
Okay.
I said, well, if you don't want to stay here that long, you just renew your
Visa na
tourist
lang.
visa, so at least
Oo.
you have the choice. But they never
Came back?
came back after
Talaga?
that, kahit ni-renew him.
So, hindi talaga
Ah.
para sa lahat ng Amerika, no?
Kahit
Pag kunwari,
dumalaw, ay sabi ko gano'n, you have
mm,
your apos are here, they have
mm.
to apos. But They said they can come to see us.
Siguro iba talaga yung comfort, yung kung saan ka komportable.
And where
Komportable
you made
sila
a
sa,
good living.
yeah.
I have friends in the Philippines who make good living.
Yes,
You know,
that's
they
why
wanna
they
move
don't want
there.
to go here.
Paradise is where you make it.
Yes. True. Oo. So kahit na siguro ang environment mo ay nako, sobrang init, sobrang marumi, ganyan. If you look at it in a different way, then it's paradise for you. Diba? Totoo yun. It
Where you
depends
make
on,
your home.
yeah, it depends on the people you are with. Siguro kung hindi mo talaga maiwanan sila. So, doon ang paradise mo. And you found your paradise here.
Yes,
Yeah.
I made my nest here.
With your
Yes, my
husband.
is here.
Yeah. And the pamankins.
This is where I'm gonna die and get buried. So, and my parents, you know, they didn't want to go anywhere. They're, you know, that's
Ganon
where
din
they are.
sila.
That's their final resting place.
Yeah. Oo. Well, I'm so happy for you, Leia. Siguro hindi na lang nakakamit ni Leia yung kanyang pangarap na maging journalist.
I keep telling her, I live vicariously through you.
Aww. Pero now, you're in my show. Naging broadcaster ngayon bigla si Leia. Pinilit ko lang siya. Pero Leia, I'm so thankful. Maraming salamat. Pinagbigyan mo yung aking kaibigan na ma-interview kita.
Gosh.
Yeah, this is very inspiring actually. And
I don't know, you know, it's just, you know,
yeah.
It's an ordinary story.
No, it's
Most
not.
Most people have more interesting stories than that.
No. Yours is a good story and we are very happy na nakita kitang masaya rito, komportable dito. Tapos yan, na ibahagi mo pa sa ating mga kababayan yung lahat na mga dinaanan
I do
mo.
miss, what I miss most is food.
Filipino
it's
food.
still different, you know. There's good Filipino restaurants here, probably, but it's still different, you know, coming from when you're eating in the Philippines.
Si Brian na lang paglutuin mo, marunong naman siya.
Magaling siya, pero it's still different.
Sa bagay, iba talaga yung lutong Pilipino na kumakain ka sa karinderya, di ba?
Kahit yung tabi-tabi lang.
Oo.
The sunsets.
Yeah.
I think the sunsets in the Philippines are unparalleled. Kahit pumunta ka sa mga beaches, I still think it's different.
Indeed. Oo.
And our people.
Yeah. The warm smiles, di ba? Although dito napansin ko, bawat makasalubong mo, hindi mo kilala. Hi! Good morning! Di ba? Masyadong mabati rin yung mga
It depends on, you know, part of the country where you go to.
So hindi rin lahat?
Sa Texas, maano sila. They like to say hi. I don't know about the bigger cities. Probably they're lower.
Pag sa New York, hindi. Talagang nagmamadali lagi. Banggain ka pa. Ako ilang beses na ako nabanggaron ng tao. Ang lalaki pa naman. Pagkatapos magagalit pa, sabi, damn! Kasi hindi nila ako nakita dahil hanggang bewang lang nila ako. Anyway, thank you again, Leia. Maraming salamat. Ayan, si Leia Goco Ericson. Isa pong nurse dito sa Amerika. Thank you, Leia.
Thank you.